Hold on, let me.
I'm so
Let
excited.
me make sure my stuff and everything is all good.
Yeah. Make sure, baby.
All right. Excuse me.
Alrighty. What's going on, beautiful people? We are back. I know we've been going a long time. We apologize for the inconsistencies on our behalf. We promise you, it's just a lot of adulting that's going on in everybody's lives, beautiful people. And that's a whole like topic and podcast episode within itself that you could kind of like break into many different things, right? Because we all rush to get old, and then all these other crazy things happen, right? But nonetheless, we here, right?
Yes.
And so what is this? This is episode 4.
Honestly.
Or episode 5.
I'll be honest. I lost count.
That's what I'm about to say.
And I know, just real quick, just what he's saying, I know it doesn't seem like it, but we've had to trash a few recordings. It could be due to technical difficulties. It could be due to voices or sounds or clips. There was an episode we recorded like 2-3 times and we still ain't get it right. So honestly, I already lost count. We're just gonna title it. We don't even gotta put the number on it because I don't know where we're at.
That's what I'm about to say. We'll put it on the SoundCloud. You'll see it on Spotify. You'll see it on the Apple, podcasts and all that type of stuff. And you'll also see it when we post it on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, today's episode, beautiful people, we've been polling about this thing, right? And I know y'all seen it today and last night and everything and such, right? So today's episode is, do physical attributes exhibit dominance?
It's a very simple question.
Let's get to it.
It's a very simple question. It should be it's a yes or no question, to be honest. And when Ant talked about this, I thought, well, I brought it to him. I said we're gonna be talking about the same thing, because the answer is clearly yes. And then this man says no. So I guess we got a topic on our hands, because I don't see how. Now, don't get it wrong. Physical attributes alone, might not be the only thing or the only way to exert your dominance, but it definitely plays a huge role. I think it's the most important thing. The way you look physically. That's what we're saying. Physical attributes. I'm not saying if somebody's smart. I'm not saying if somebody is clever or all that kind of things. Like, I'm not saying, displaying things that, like leaders, for example. Leaders don't necessarily need to be big or, tough or all that kind of stuff. You can have a small man, leading the pack, right? Because so to an extent, that's some sort of dominance. But in the end, are you big? Are people gonna fear you? That's what I attended to. Are people gonna fear you? Are people gonna be like, maybe I shouldn't mess with this guy? So that's my take. So if to answer your question, my answer is yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Meech, because I have a spiel. So I'm gonna just make sure that everybody gets their intro first, and we'll do it like that. So Meech, boom.
When it comes to physical attributes exhibit dominance, I'm not gonna lie, I would have to disagree with you, because again, yes, you can come off, you can have that physique of, a bodybuilder, that muscular person, or, carry yourself like that, but are you truly innerly thinking?
Innerly? What are you talking about?
Internally.
That's not that's not physical. I can't see or gauge what's inside of a person.
Let him land the plane.
Go ahead.
Land the plane, Meech.
Yes, again, the question is, do physical attributes...
Physical attributes. The things I can see with my eyes. Continue.
Alright, bro. But either way, I disagree with you. Not all the time does your physical attributes always present yourself as a dominant person.
All right, so
okay.
Hold on, before you go into your rebuttal mode. So, beautiful people, this topic stemmed from a conversation I had with my brother, my man's pots and pans.
Man's pots and pans?
Disregard the side commentary, right? Because this is our yes gentleman over here. So nonetheless, right?
Man's pots and pans.
My brother is a shorter fellow. And his whole thing was, Ant, I do not get the same respect that you do as a taller gentleman.
He's short.
And so, hold on, because I expressed to him, Same thing Meech just said. I said, well, you present and carry yourself like a confident individual.
I know this man too, and I have a good story.
And so
go ahead.
And so when you carry yourself as a confident individual, your physical attributes, I feel like it's gonna heighten when you have this level of confidence about yourself, regardless of whether your height or your size. You know what I'm saying? And people are gonna respect you in a kind of regard. Let me land the plane.
I ain't say nothing.
Let me land the plane. and that's all I really expressed to him, because I said I could be tall, and people still not respect me the same. Because if we look at the definition, as my fellow yes man over here said, right? We looked up the definition of dominance yesterday. And so the definition of dominance, everybody, most important, powerful, or influential.
Okay.
A lot of things that coincide with confidence and respect.
All right. Can you define physical attributes as well?
Okay.
Just so people can have an understanding.
Okay. So we'll get into that part, but I'm gonna let you state your rebuttal. I've landed my plane, everybody.
All right. So what I was gonna say was this, right? That same man, that same friend, your same brother, your pots and pans brother, right? that same individual. Now he's on the shorter side. I've played basketball with him. Right now, off rip, you're not gonna think much of like he's short, yeah, whatever, right? But the way he handles the ball, he's in charge on the basketball court. He's dominant on the basketball court, and he's still short.
So now you just opened up a gateway that I didn't expect. I like what you just did there. I don't know, Meech, if you just picked up on it.
You get it? You get what I'm saying?
But what you're saying right now is that it won't be always some of your immediate highlighted physical attributes that will be shown in certain scenarios. So being an athlete, being an athlete, he has the upper hand.
Exactly.
But he's still short.
And he's still short. But his physical attributes, which is his abilities, well, I don't want to even get into the abilities per se, because you could see him when he played basketball. You can see how he moves. You can see how he does all those things. He's dominant in that space, right? And he's still short.
So now, does that diminish the fact that the original topic at hand, which was, let's just say now he's off the basketball court. Now we're still looking
I wouldn't hire him for security.
That's what I was about to say. So
I wouldn't hire him for security. He's not scary. He's not big. He's not bad. I wouldn't hire him for security.
So,
my apologies. So you wouldn't hire him for security because of his height?
Yeah, I wouldn't take him threatening. He's not threatening when he's out that element. When he's not on the court, I don't see him as a threat per se. I know he's a dangerous man, but I'm saying physically, looking at him.
I was just about to say, so, but even if he doesn't come off that way because of his height, you're telling me that his personality and who he is as a person doesn't excruciate like.
You line up a group of men, right? Let's say you line people up.
Well,
right?
no. Let's attack your main argument, right? Because I wrote it down and you highlighted it immediately.
Okay.
What is a dominant physical attribute? What makes a physical attribute dominant?
I said anyone that you would fear off of just looking at them alone. Right, like someone.
I need a physical attribute. What would you say?
Physical attributes goes to your height, your weight, your strength. I'm not strength, because you can't measure that. The way you look physically, like if somebody looks like they work out, if somebody like they're buffed, like those are physical attributes.
Okay.
Right, like the example for security, like if I want someone, a bodyguard, for example. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go with the person that looks bigger, that looks taller, that look like they could put somebody through a wall, as opposed to somebody that looks lanky. Like I'm gonna go with the person that looks physically more built for the job. Now that same person, I probably wouldn't pick them up for basketball, would I? Because they probably are not fast. They probably can't move as quickly as. You see what I'm saying? So once again, physical attributes, I believe, exhorts a lot of dominance. Now, is that all you need? No. But is it the most important thing that you need? I think so, yes. Because some leaders, like, they still need to have some sort of bodyguard or some sort of protection and things like that. Like why is that?
I mean...
So, my apologies to cut you off, right? But you saying that certain leaders need a bodyguard, correct? Now, not all of those bodyguards are like 300 pounds, 6
I
feet.
mean, well, we live in a day and age where you can carry a gun.
But again,
So, like-
okay, I get that, right? Now, I've done security before.
And you look like I'll be scared of you.
I get that, I appreciate that, but
You don't put fear in my heart.
sound good, but like, I've done security before where I'm not gonna lie, I would choose the person who's 5'5".
But he's Ak.
But again, whether he's Aki or not, I'd rather choose the person who's 5'5" than the person who's 6 foot, 400 pounds. Because I've seen that person in action. I can look at that person in order.
Because you've seen him in action.
Seen.
But wait, even before I even knew that person, I could just approach him and I could tell off rip, like, look, this is a dangerous man.
Why?
Because of how he carries himself.
So we're all touching upon similar things, right? Because you hit the nail on the head when you said the way this person displays themselves on the basketball court. So at the end of the day, once again, we're talking about physical attributes. So the first tier level is appearance.
Okay.
So you look at somebody, your immediate assumption is this person could be X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
But when you see them in action, like Misha said, or how they carry themselves,
Action.
because somebody carrying themselves is a form of action, like what they're doing, what
Physical.
they're exhibiting, right?
Physical.
You know, yes, physically.
Physical. Okay.
What they're exhibiting physically will be the determining factor
Physical
of if their dominance is solidified. So that person can
I feel like right now you're on my side.
not really, because you're saying
'Cause you
off
still gotta
appearance.
see him. You
You're
still
saying
gotta-
off appearance.
You're
Saying
more-
off looks.
From hold on, because I want to touch back on that. You're going off of like personal body physique.
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.
What me and Ed are saying is that a person can carry themselves, how their demeanor is, how they walk, how their face structure is when they walk up to a person. You know what I mean? But you again, I agree with what Ed is saying. You on the other hand,
I'm letting y'all know.
you're stating off of their physical body.
I'm letting y'all know, regardless of how the person carried himself, if they don't got some sort of physical attribute to back it up, like it's not gonna mean much. Like, yeah, you say somebody carrying himself like, you know, they're the boss, like they walk around like, you know, all that kind of stuff. But bro, if he's not brolic, if he's like some skinny, lanky person, like you're gonna have a little bit less fear of that person. You're gonna question it a little bit, regardless of how big they're talking, regardless of how big they're walking. You're gonna question it a little bit.
So what you're saying is that action needs to show for itself. But that's total opposite of what a person with physique has to do with anything. Stating the dominance. A person actually can automatically state that person's dominance, no matter what.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying like
physique, you're stating has to play a factor. Again, that's all from you looking at that person first saying, yeah, sure. Like if you come across somebody in the streets and you see, again, I apologize for all my skinny people that we keep talking down on y'all, but
There's nothing wrong.
there's nothing wrong with that. But again, we come across a person who's skinny in the streets, you want to think twice, like, nah, he ain't nothing. He gonna fly when the next breeze come through.
Yep.
But little do you know that this person, he probably been in the gym every day of his life, or what type of struggles that person made.
Yeah, so he gonna look at them.
You feel me?
So
Alright.
this then goes into, because a lot of our comments that we got from people were talking exactly about what Meech and I
Yeah,
said.
they're wrong.
So so somebody said no, because I've met big men with more confidence than a man with an 8-pack. Then somebody else said,
But if they were to pick who the security guard is, they're picking the big man.
but somebody said, similar to you, and this was somebody on the other side, said yes, the basic example would be height, which is an obvious one
Height, size.
that most people use. But then this leads to my plot twist of,
I'm just saying.
but
Huh?
6'9" don't
exactly. So then I gotta beg to ask you, right, as somebody who's on the yes side, because Meech and I we're going off action and how somebody carries themselves versus you physical appearance, like the
Yep.
appearance piece, you know. So I ask you then, if somebody doesn't have the physical attributes
Uh-huh.
or dominant physical attributes.
Okay. So
Can
that's
they
saying
still be dominant?
So you're saying, someone that's, and listen, we're trying to explain things in black and white so you guys can have the understanding. So you're saying if someone short, sorry, not necessarily short, but someone that's not tall, that does not look physically intimidating.
Yeah.
Can they still carry physical attribute? Can they still assert dominance? To an extent.
Okay.
To an extent.
What's that extent?
Because once again, the first thing that we all see, the first thing that we can all observe are the things that we see. Before we hear anything else, is the things that we see. If I'm walking down the street, at night, if I see someone that I'm taller than, and if they don't look necessarily scared, big or anything like that, like I would be able to comfortably walk, along them without any worries in my heart, right? Like because if it really come down to it, I could take them, right? Now, if I'm walking across someone that's like, maybe even the same height as me, but you could see they're jacked up, right? Or maybe slightly taller than me, you can see they're jacked up. It'll cross my mind a little bit, like, man, if this person gonna rob me, I might have a little bit of a hard time. Okay. But now let's say, I don't know, that small person knows jiu-jitsu, right? He could probably take me still, but I don't know that in my head. So, but being that the physical is what I see first, that's what I'm going to judge that person off of first before anything else. Now, upon further information, I'm not going to, I'm going to be like, well, he's dominant because if it really come down to it, he's going to beat me up. And I think that's kind of like where my example with Dre comes in as well. Like, if you see, oh man, I said his name. I said his name. Yes, Dre. Yes, Dre.
We're talking about
yes, Dre.
Yes.
And if you want to fight about this later, I'm not gonna fight you because I know who you are. Yes, Dre. But my thing is, off rip seeing Dre, he's not on the taller side. I'm not saying he's actually not that short in my opinion. He's just not on the taller side, right? I wouldn't want to mess with him. But upon knowing Dre and knowing Dre could probably put me through a wall, it makes a huge difference. Yeah. But if we're gonna go off the physical stuff alone, off the things that I could observe with my eyes, because physical, right? I wouldn't think he's very dominant. But overall, knowing him as the person that he is, knowing that, what he could do, he does have some, a good amount of dominance. But if we're gonna say on a physical attribute alone, no, not much.
So now, you highlighted something prior to us getting on. You highlighted something before we started in regards to, let's just say, arm wrestling with somebody who is a little bit more huskier than you. And now, when you brought this up, you said, I probably can't take this person because of the simple fact of their weight is larger than mine.
Exactly.
But now, at the same time, though, weight and strength are two different things.
So the way I see it is, now one of my guys that's on the bigger side, I've been working out for, let's say I was working out for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I get in the gym, I'm trying to push, let's say 2 plates, right? Yeah. The amount of time it took him to get to that point was quicker. Why? Mass moves mass. Like, he's bigger, so by nature, he will be able to do more than I can do.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, I've met big people, but then they're not always categorized as strong individuals. So, although because of their body mass, they may be able to somewhat move or push, but they probably couldn't do certain physical, like, strength exercises that I probably could do a lot more consistently. Then they can.
If we talking about dominance, ain't nobody care about that, man. If we talking about physical attributes into dominance, like, yeah, being strong plays a good role in that. But you're gonna off rip want someone that people are gonna look at and not gonna want to mess with you to begin with. And I think I asked you this. You gotta hire a bodyguard. You hiring a 6'2" male, or you hiring are you gonna hire a 6'7" woman? Like, who are you gonna hire? Who do you think is gonna protect you more? Like, let's say guns are not in play here. Let's just say there are no guns in play. Let's just say off the looks alone, who are you gonna hire?
Obviously, the 6'7" woman. You just said 6'4".
Okay, just because
I know.
I said that on purpose. Now, I just gotta say this. I just gotta say this real quick. Just because you guys are don't focus too much on the height.
No, but you also didn't get. But
there's
you also,
there's a certain threshold where that height don't matter.
But you only highlighted the height. You didn't say how much this woman weighs. You didn't say how much the man weighs. You literally just said 6'4" male, 6'7" woman.
I don't want to.
So this woman could be freaking.
I don't want to be canceled here.
Ronda Rousey.
I don't want to be. I don't
He
want to
made his own island.
I don't want to be canceled. I don't want to be canceled, but I'm gonna go with the guy. I don't want to be canceled, but I'm gonna go with the guy.
He made his own.
Because
island.
why? Because guys are naturally stronger as is. I'm pretty sure, regardless of that height difference, that man is still gonna be stronger than the woman. Mm-hmm. Can we agree on that or no?
I feel as though the approach
And would look more intimidating.
Sorry, I feel as though that the approach that you're taking is more of when it comes to physical attributes being dominance, you're not seeing it from a dominance perspective. You're seeing it more of if that person is more of a intimidating.
There we go. That's
the difference?
So
the difference.
Dominance. We just looked at the definition. Dominance has to do with the action. So being powerful, being influential. So the carrying, the confidence, the action versus the actual intimidation piece that you're looking at, which is the physical appearance piece that then exhibits dominance in your eyes. So you're like you said before, you said, does this person put fear in me?
Yeah, I think.
And 9 times out of 10, if you're not from that same type of cloth, that you look at somebody and you go, nah, I'm not scared of this person.
Hold on, what's the definition of dominance one more time?
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. In the meantime, we also had other people that said, because we also had somebody who does not display these physical attributes that well, but at the same time, they express, hey, I may not have the physical attributes that exhibit dominance, but I'm not going to be a pushover. And so at the end of the day, it's just kind of like what does somebody that doesn't have those? Well, the actual phrase. I'm being nice about it, but the person
sound like they're courageous.
The person said. Person said, in this life is either you're a monster or food, and I can never be food.
I get that though. I get that though, and I get that. Like it's either you're a monster or you're food. Like it's either you're gonna put fear in somebody's heart or you're not. The size alone, yes. The size alone is not gonna control everything. Like it's not gonna control everything. There are other things here and there. But if we're gonna say, if we were to just look at just the physical attributes alone, there's a lot of focus on that, right? Like I'm gonna always pick the bigger, the badder looking person than the person that isn't.
All right.
Explain it.
All Meech and I are really trying to break down to you is that at the end of the day, there's tier levels. And I don't think that you want to see the tier levels because you're focused on your argument, which is the assumption piece, the appearance piece. But there is levels to it in terms of of how somebody's physical attributes can execute. Matter of fact, so let's look at it like this, right? Somebody's all hunchback, all like this, and they're more of a huskier individual. They're hunched over like this. They may be a good solid 5'11", but they look like this. Does this look like somebody that's really intimidating to you?
Well, physically, no.
Or does somebody that looks like this,
physically, this
and
person,
is like 5'8", and maybe has a genuine build?
So you're saying how they carry themselves physically?
That's what you're not even saying.
But that's not what it sounds like you guys are saying. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Like, all right. So we apologize, or I apologize. I can't speak for Meech. My apologies if I'm not explaining. If I'm not utilizing the right type of words to get across to you that at the end of the day, it's how you carry your physical attributes that will then solidify your dominance.
How you carry your physical attributes.
So if you're somebody who you look fit, but you carry yourself sloppy and your actions are sloppy, I'm not going to take you serious as a dominant person. I will think that you are soft.
Okay.
I don't care how big you are.
Because they don't look it, right?
Because you don't look it. Your demeanor. That's what Meat said in the very beginning. Demeanor has to do with posture. Posture, your body language. What message are you sending to somebody? Because at the end of the day, I can physically look what way I want to look, but what message am I sending to the people that are around me? That at the end of the day, they will either gravitate and be like, yo, this is somebody that's influential because we're talking about dominance. This is somebody that's powerful. This is somebody I could trust. This is somebody I respect. Or are they going to look at me like, this dude's a fool. This dude, I don't want to believe nothing word he says. Like, he just looks or she looks like X, Y, and Z. We could agree to disagree. But only because no, I get what you're saying, but I think we're really on the borderlines of talking about almost the same things, but I just think it's the way we're presenting it. Another thing that was pointed out to me recently is that I believe I'm someone that focuses a lot also on semantics, right? I focus very, very heavily on what the definition of what we're talking about is specifically, right? Okay.
So that could also be why this seems like we're having a hard conversation. But honestly, my takeaway is if you want to exhort more dominance, if you want to look like you're a big, bad, scary person, man, just go to the gym, okay? All right, just get bigger. People are gonna take you slightly more serious than, if you look the part. And well, we're in New York, so you can't carry here. But if you're in a state where you can carry, maybe that would help you too. Like that's an easy way out. But if you want to be in a room where you want people to really, but also posture, yes. Does posture play a part in it? Yes. You want to pick your head up when you walk in a room? Yes. It's gonna say a lot about you still, right? But in my opinion, that's still all part of physical attributes, like the way your posture. Because what are you gonna say about somebody if they really are hunchback and they really have no control over that, right? So, but we don't got to get into that. All right. What's your takeaway for the folks at home?
Nah, man. I'll say this, right? Because for the most part, right? Because as y'all could tell, like we could talk about this endlessly, and I think it has a lot to do with what you see on social media. Because like we said, there's scenarios of how these physical attributes all come into play. So like we're talking about athletics. For a lot of nowadays, our talks, when you see social media, we're talking about romance and intimacy and how physical attributes really come into play. And so for certain people, it makes everybody feel insecure about their physical attributes.
Yeah, you should go to the gym.
You know what I'm saying? So for certain people, gym don't even wash away the fact that, you look a type of way.
Bro, if you look good, you feel good. If they go to the gym and they get right first, everything else is going to follow.
Needless to say, right? My takeaway from this, and I still stand on my stance, is that I understood what he was saying, what Yemi was saying, but I will still stand on it's not only just how you physically look or present yourself with your physical attributes. I think it's also how you carry those physical attributes and what actions you execute that actually solidify your dominance. Because if you're not doing the actions of somebody that's dominant, 9 times out of 10, people aren't going to consider you a dominant person. But that's my takeaway, beautiful people. I'll pass it over to Meech.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally agree with you, bro.
It's funny.
I'll be feeling as though like I get so close to getting the end of these podcasts where I don't curse. But
he cursed?
He said a little ish word, but
I didn't even notice.
But that's what I was about to say. It was so quick. It was so quick. It slipped out. Yeah.
Again, physical dominance, yes, it kind of plays a factor if you're trying to intimidate somebody. Other than that, how you carry yourself is much more important than anything else.
Yeah, and that was like the other key takeaway, right? Like there's levels to wordplay, right? Like we said dominance, and what we broke down today was that we're actually talking about intimidation. And then that was what Yemi got out of it, and that's really what he was trying to portray. Does this person make me feel intimidated? Does this person make me feel fearful?
Put fear in my heart?
Does he put fear in my heart? While me and Meech, we're talking about respect. We're talking about confidence. All those types of things. Does that person exhibit those behaviors of somebody that I would respect? I'm not looking at it from an intimidating factor or perspective. So yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank y'all.
Hopefully.
Tune in. Check out Apple Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, wherever it shows up on Apple. I always be forgetting every now and then. Check out the SoundCloud. Check out the Spotify. Check out us on IG. Follow the Yellow Talks page, baby.
Yes.
We gonna be back. We're gonna be more consistent. We promise you. It's just adulting, man. It's adulting.
It's adulting. There's a whole bunch of equipment malfunction.
Yeah.
And also, Misha's hours are ridiculous.
We're not gonna blame Meech here, but now he's about to set the record straight.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty much it.
You can do your little outro.
Yeah. Let me do my outro, man. This man always want to steal the spotlight.
I'm not stealing the spotlight.
Yeah. But nonetheless, appreciate y'all for participating in the poll today for the episode. Continue to look out for the next content and more stuff that we got on the way, beautiful people. Love y'all. Let's have a blessed, beautiful day. Let's always think about it, talk about it, speak about it, baby.
It's corny.
Hate it.